Call this meeting to, is this thing working? This is a quiet one. I want to call this meeting to order. It's March 6th, Town of Southington Board of Finance meeting. This is a special meeting, and it's special for a couple of reasons, but one reason is because we're going to have a public hearing, and it's an ordinance appropriating $15 million for costs related to the 24-25 Road and Bridge Improvement Program and authorizing the issue of $15 million in bonds and notes to finance the appropriation. So let's do a roll call, make sure we're all here. I'll follow the agenda.
Want to do the pledge?
I guess we could skip the pledge.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll do that at a regular meeting. Roll call.
Mr. Lebenik?
Here.
Mr. Pocock?
Here.
Mr. Bowdoin?
Here.
Ms. Mazzarella?
Here.
Here. Have a quorum.
6-0.
Okay. Was that the ordinance I read?
You read the ordinance, so it is
Yeah,
read.
read the ordinance. So now we'll have a public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on the ordinance? And let's present the ordinance.
can I
Let's
introduce
present it, how many years it relates to, and
Mr. Chair. This is an ordinance which it's a little larger than our others that we did in the past, but this I believe is our fourth time. Every 4 years since Mr. Brumback, and then after Mr. Brumback through myself, we brought to the council, the Board of Finance, and eventually to the voters. The previous three, I believe, were $10 million. This is $15 million. What we do is we take it and then we break it up into 4 years, and it's part of our road improvement plan. We use the money from the ordinance as well as money that we get from the state of Connecticut, the town aid road monies and possibly some LoCIP monies. That being said, our goal is to use anywhere between $3.5 and $4 million a year over the next 4 years and continue our road program. Our public works director is here. She actually runs the program. We're hoping that based upon the new processes which were agreed to by the Public Works Division, which is we're going to be using what's called Cape Seal. Cape Seal is a type of program that we're going to have. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in that, we're expecting an 8 to 12 year process for that. The road lasts approximately 8 to 12 years, and it depends on what the numbers are. And I'm not going to go through all that. You're very familiar with that. But when we have the roads looked at, we just had it done last year, they rate the roads anywhere from 0 to 100. So obviously what we're trying to do is the worst roads have to be done, but we also want to do some of the roads that need to be done. We don't want them to get to be a disaster. So you're trying to do several different levels. We do what's called full reclamation. We're not going to be doing any in this cycle, but the next couple of cycles we'll be doing for reclamation. That's the most expensive. That's you got to take it all up. You got to redo all the drainage, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, the second part of it is going to be mill and overlay, and depending if it's 2 inches or 4 inches, that's the cost difference. And then, of course, Cape Seal is the less amount of it, but we'll do more roads with that. So we're trying to get to about 10 to 12 miles per year. We do 10 to 12 miles per year over a 4-year cycle. We're talking 50 miles. In this particular case, once again, correct me if I'm wrong, we have about 260 miles of roads in town, a little less. So as you can see, the program, if we keep doing this, we're trying to keep at least break even with our roads and hopefully catch up on some of the worst roads. So I could say, having been here since the program started, three referendums ago, it's something that needs to get done because what seems to fall through the cracks during the budget cycle is maintenance. And what we can't have is a problem with the road. So I have brought this forward. I talked to the council about this already. That's why it came to you. Last night, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to move this forward, and tonight is your public hearing, and obviously answer any questions that you have. Jim will answer financial questions if you have specific public works questions, and that's here, and obviously you can open up to the public.
why is planning and zoning involved?
It's an 824 referral. Anytime we borrow money for construction processes, it has to go there, and they have to declare that it's not in violation of the planned use, or in this case, the
Conservation
development. So in this particular case, obviously, improving roads benefits that, so they voted in favor of that.
Can someone explain to me the difference between chip seal and Cape Seal?
Okay, that's very easy. We try not to use that other word.
I know, that's why I want to know. that didn't go out so well.
I have to use that other word, though.
I know, go ahead, use the other word.
Cape Seal does start with a chip seal. It's a chip seal first with a bonded wearing course over the top. We've used it a bit in the past, and they've actually held up very well. But it basically puts a smooth surface over the top of the chip seal, so it appears to be like a regular paved road. And like I said, it's been holding up very well. The last time we had the roads rated, you could see the roads that we had done. The PCIs are still very high. And it doesn't, you avoid that loose stone. And what we agreed with the Public Works Committee is we're going to absolutely try our best to do the chip seal one day, followed by the bonded wearing course the second day. So you won't have, that road chip sealed for a week before you get that course on the top.
Are we able to use it on hills and flat roads? Because I remember the chip
Yes.
seal used to break apart on hills.
Yep, you can. It doesn't. The slope of the road doesn't matter. I believe we might not be able to do cul-de-sacs because of the bulb of the cul-de-sac. You can do the straight part, but we may have to just pave the actual round part of the cul-de-sac just because the size of the equipment.
In
Cape seal? No, not at all. We have done it in the past.
It's
Yeah,
probably-
within the last 10 years
Just
we did
about
it.
8 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe, we did
yeah, yeah. And if you're really interested, I could tell you which roads we did if you want to look at them. Take in a field trip.
My road was chip sealed.
Art Seer used
So
to
did
drive
mine.
around and check the roads.
Yep,
Yeah, my road was chip
sealed
sealed.
too.
Yeah, I was going to say in your area, I
I'm
know we
on the
did
hill.
some
was
because
chip
my
seal.
mother's
They-
road
they
was
dug it
done.
all the way down to the dirt and put a binder layer. And I said, "Oh, I'm getting my road paved." And then the chip seal came. So that was an interesting.
Actually,
method.
I'm one of the few people who actually benefited from it because I live on a hill, and chip seal's like having
good
You get good traction, yeah.
So it's because it actually is like having snow tires.
And is chip seal reclaimed stuff? So it's it helps in the environment. Is
Some of the chip seal has some rubber pieces in it, so that may be, and that does adhere better. So
Has our road rating gotten better over the last 10 years then with this program?
no, it has not, but we've expected that. What we're trying to do is minimize the decrease because I don't have the backlog of roads off the top of my head, but it's tens of millions of dollars that we're behind. So catching up, I mean, the extra money, the 15 million is fantastic. I certainly appreciate it. Will it increase our rating? Probably not.
But hopefully won't get worse.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
because
Thank
we
you.
were in here one time. We were talking when we got the pavement management system.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a lot about where we wanted the rating, and there were numbers. I think it was a 7.5. I forget the.
We had ratings. It's 0 through 100.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Well,
that's the
we had
piece,
when we
yeah.
first started this thing, we had ratings in the 20s. And every once in a while, every 3 years we redo it. We
3 to 4
3 to
years
4
they
years, we
recommend.
actually go out again and redo it. So what happens is that you think you're ahead of the game in some cases, but some roads deteriorate faster than other roads depending on what the traffic, et cetera, et cetera.
Freeze
So,
thaw.
so we have had roads that the last time around were in the 75s, so we thought they'd be in good shape, and they come back now, and some of them drop down back into the 40s or 50s again.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
but,
They deteriorate at all different rates. You never know.
yeah.
Well, how many roads do we have?
Under 50, not 50%, under 50 score.
Yeah, 50.
I'd say probably more than that. I mean, I can get you the exact number, but yeah. Yeah.
How do we
And
compare-
actually, once we complete all these meetings and everything, that list is going to be posted online. So you can actually go and see all the ratings.
How do we compare to our surrounding towns, like a Cheshire or who's ever?
I don't know what they have for road ratings. I mean, I've talked to a lot of the public works directors recently about what processes they use. A lot of them do, which surprised me, tend to stick to the reconstruction and the mill and overlay. A lot of them don't use a lot of these intermediate processes. So I'm not sure how they really would make headway with that because those are expensive. Those are very
Yeah,
expensive.
and if they're not doing like we're doing the bonding, trying to cash fund them with a higher price,
Right.
they'll be in a jam there too.
So, I mean, I do think we're being as proactive as we can be, especially with this, intermediate process. We can cover a lot more miles.
And we are limited. Obviously, we're limited. Money is one aspect of it, but time is also a big aspect. Part of our projects are we try and get it done. We start almost immediately after school ends, and we try and get it done before school begins. Obviously, you don't want to do all this stuff while the buses are rolling because you got closed roads, et cetera, et cetera. So we try and do it within a short period of time.
And if you're going to do something like a mill and pave, you want to make sure that the underground utilities are in good shape first. So we actually start with that, and we can't, if we're replacing catch basins, you can't do that in the winter. So that's kind of an April, May kind of thing. We usually have Tilcon starting, after the 4th of July. So yeah, it's not all, dependent on money. It's time.
There's a lot of glitches involved in it. I mean, just a lot of companies involved.
Yes.
Telcon, Gas, Eversource.
We have drainage contractors. We do
We've been
some
doing
in-house.
Yeah. If you travel our, whatever you do, travel our bordering towns and travel other towns, and you'll see that roads are always one of the biggest things, but I do think if you travel around, you'll see that Southington's holding its own.
Well, I'm always out riding anyways, checking things. But I was in Glastonbury, Middletown, East Hampton area. I thought I was going to need a new front end for my pickup truck. Because no matter where you went on the roads, they were bad. When somebody tells me what we've not done, I says, take a ride somewhere else. Just like town manager just said.
Now, do we have paving capabilities on our staff, your staff? Do we pave, or do we
No.
catch basins in the edges and the?
We can do little patchwork like that, but no, we're not paving whole
Okay.
roads.
So all our paving would be outsourced?
Yes, those are contractors.
We use the state contracts for that.
Yeah.
And if I may ask, or Mr. Bose, these paid over what term? So when we borrow, just straight, we divide that by 10 and pay it over 10 years. Along the roads last pretty much.
Normally, you wouldn't borrow it all at one time. Because
Right, borrow the 4 million, and that 4 million is
Yeah.
then paid over level 4 years.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So a chunk of our debt out there relates to the roads.
Right.
If we borrow every 4 years and pay it off over 10, it builds to a point.
Well, you're going to borrow over the 4 years, so we won't know what it's going to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Got some estimates in my head, but,
We're going to go out in the fall. It'll be the next time we go out. Whether the roads
is
are
not
on there or
gonna
not.
be-
We're
this
going out
won't
for the
be part of
library,
it.
so.
we're going out in the fall, but this,
What's the cost of bonding?
additional general obligation. When your bond fee, your bond.
So it doesn't matter the size of the bond, it's pretty much 80,000 every time you go out.
Actually, the larger the bond, the larger.
Basic, and then there's a percentage.
Okay, we'll ask anybody from the public want to speak? Seeing nobody from the public to speak, thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
And now we'll go to our discussion, any discussion among the members, and
Officially
then we'll
close the
vote.
public hearing, please.
We'll close the public hearing, and we'll move to a discussion and a vote by the Board of Finance members. So we'll have to have a motion to approve and a second, then we'll go into discussion.
I will make a motion to approve the
Right on top. You got it right there.
resolution to recommend that we, Town of Southington, adopt a proposed ordinance entitled Ordinance Appropriating $15 million for costs related to the 2024-2025 Road and Bridge Improvement Program, and authorizing the issue of $15 million bonds and notes to finance the appropriation. A copy of which a proposed ordinance, as presented to this meeting, shall be recorded with the minutes of the meeting.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion?
That's a good discussion, some good points were made, and I think I'm in favor of that.
And I think, too, roads are important. We have to, the TAR grants have been reduced and reduced and reduced. If we just relied on the state, we wouldn't be able to do hardly anything.
Nothing. Basically.
So it's pretty much, we're essentially on our own here doing the roads, and it's what the taxpayers want. So
Roads are one of the responsibilities of government. Absolutely.
roads, sewers,
Yep.
no argument,
Emergency
right?
protection, right. Yep.
Okay, Annette, just do a good job, find the best way.
Yeah.
Yep.
See how we could get it done and get it done the best we can and
Not
stretch
saying you
it.
haven't, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been doing a great job.
We got a little beat up on the chip seal years ago.
Right.
But
That wasn't me.
you got to try.
That was
Right.
prior to her.
Yeah, it was prior to you, but still.
I'll take responsibility for that.
But the idea, and everybody should know it too, a lot of people say, why do you chip seal? Why is because you can get more roads done. You try and help more people. And then you evaluate it. If it doesn't work, you change and move forward.
We did.
Honestly, they held up well.
I do need a roll call vote, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's take a roll call vote.
Mr. Lebenik,
Yes.
Mr. Pocock.
Yes,
Mr. Bowdoin,
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Chair Larry.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
so now we will adjourn, look for our favorite motion on this meeting, and we'll go into our workshop.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second? Okay, we adjourn
All
this
in
meeting
favor?
at 6:46. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we have adjourned.
All right.
Now we're in a workshop.